Tonight, I'm honored to welcome back Paula Schroeder, a gifted healer and teacher who has been practicing spiritual response therapy since 2003. Paula has helped thousands of people across all walks of life release subconscious blocks, transform negative patterns, and open themselves to greater freedom and self-awareness. We all need more of that, right? It's like food. You can't get enough of it. You got to keep doing it. She's also a certified oneness trainer and has guided people around the world in spiritual awakening for over 18 years. Please join me in welcoming back Paula Schroeder to the Cynthia Manion Show. Woohoo!
Thank you, Cynthia.
What a treat. It's so nice to have you back. You were so compelling last time. We didn't get enough Paula. So you joined us before, but this is your first solo feature.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be back on the show in this way?
Well, it's so exciting. I just felt so connected with you before and your staff. And it's just, I don't know, it just makes me so happy because I know you help and reach a lot of people, which is what I like to do also. So I feel grateful for this opportunity. So
Thank you, Paula. So, Paula, you often speak about freedom within the soul. What does that mean to you personally?
Well, every person obviously has emotions. We have our ups and our downs. But ultimately, there is a choice point that we have, whether we choose to be happy and live a fulfilling life, or we choose to be in stressful states. And so, by working with people of unresolved energies that's within them, so you could call that the soul, so to speak, that inner landscape inside of them, helping to release that stuck energy will help them move forward and potentially reach a state of being connected and happy, with all the good things, love, joy, peace, all of those things. Yeah.
We all love those. Love, joy, peace. They're our favorites, but you can't have them all the time. Yin Yang life. How did you first discover spiritual response therapy, and what drew you to devote your life to it, Paula?
Well, I was in a class. I had an experience where all of a sudden I knew things without people telling me.
Ooh, yeah.
So intuitive gifts just dropped in. And that sounds fun and great, but at first it's a little scary, to be truthful. And so I ended up seeking out a teacher for this type of thing. And from her classes on meditation and other healing introspection, I met a teacher of the spiritual response therapy method. And I had a friend that learned it from that teacher, and she calls me up and says, "Oh my gosh, you got to try this." And once I tried it, oh my gosh, I became like a mad scientist. I would, stay up late and just look into things in my own life and then work to clear those things. And not only myself, but of course, other people. When you first learn it, you're encouraged to either work on yourself or like a close family member or friend, and not go to people that you don't know yet, because there's a lot to learn about energy management behind the scenes to be able to do this.
Yeah, bad stuff. You don't want to get it all over you.
Right. It's like if you're making a cake and you turn the KitchenAid thing on to full blast, stuff splatters if you do that. So it's very nice to go step by step and sequentially learn how to work with the energetic signatures of people and patterns that they may have either from their lineage, from their growing up years, or maybe they've absorbed it from someone as well. So I fell in love with it right away, and then went through the processes to be educated in all the levels so I could get certified as a teacher of it.
Yeah, and you've been practicing SRT for over 20 years. 20 years. So how has the modality evolved during that time? Modality.
Yeah, the modality. Yeah, that.
We're trying to get fancy here, you know.
Yes, we are. So anyway, basically, I started with some teachers from India that I have learned universal teachings from. And I incorporated that into the spiritual response therapy. So it is a little bit of flavor of my own, because I use those consciousness teachings to help clear people. And the result is to help them have a little bit of a more of an awakened consciousness where they can see the truth, be more connected to themselves and others. So there's been an evolving process with that. And since I've been a teacher for so many years, it's interesting because back when I first started, it would take, it seemed like at least 6 months to get somebody that took the class up and running and comfortable with it
Hmm.
after the class. Whereas now someone's usually up and running in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So it just feels like everything is sped up.
And we have lots of people visiting on many different platforms. I want to welcome you. Please share this out. Paula is amazing. And if you have any questions, I'd like to encourage you to put them in the chat, because Paula is here to answer them and to give you a little, how about giving us a walk through the basics of how SRT works to someone completely new at it, Paula?
Okay, sure.
Cool.
So, really, the way that SRT works is it's about like me as a practitioner having a strong intention to be of service and help the person. I'll call them, say, a client.
Mhm.
Um, and also for both of us to feel connected to a presence that is greater than us. Some people, it doesn't matter the denomination or the religious, spiritual background of anyone, whatever that power that they connect with, that is the facilitator ultimately with the high self of the person. That is what creates the healing. I am kind of like the space holder in a way.
Hmm.
And from that strong intention that I have, that everything that is cleared is to help bring them in harmony, alignment, to give them freedom within, to help them live more fully, where it's a life that's contented instead of always striving to be or do more.
Mm. Just
So,
be. Just be.
yeah. And to allow, like, there's a give and take. Like, we do use our logical brain in SRT, like by asking questions. And we follow a set of charts that I have that was, from the original founder of it. There's 32 charts. Some of them, this is home based, so it looks pretty detailed. But that gives me clues as to what's in the part of the mind that is sub or unconscious. So things on this chart, which was the very first chart, are things like self-punishment or conflict. And so even simple things like, should I go to the movies or should I stay home and read a book, can actually have you turning over and over inside your mind, trying to decide what to do. let alone some big decision about, like, do I stay in this relationship or do I not? So all of those types of things which result in negative thoughts or negative belief systems or patterns are addressed with this method.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are the most common subconscious blocks you see in clients?
Well, it seems like everyone does have some self punishment. There's a bit of low self esteem. Um, Sometimes there can be things like jealousy, or, someone may have an ego that's a little bit domineering. There's shame, there's greed, there's guilt, um, all the emotions that we as humans have. Um, it's okay if they pass on through, but if they get stuck and they stay there, they build an energy. And in Eastern cultures, they call that samskaras. And those are just deep impressions that they can be positive or negative. But with SRT, we're looking to clear out the negative ones. And then at the end, we download with the positive frequencies of, peace, love, joy, relaxation, all those types of things. Um, this method can help you learn how to stay calm in a stressful situation to where it becomes your second nature. Like, you're not having to force yourself to be calm. You're just calm, which is kind of nice. It also can help you let go of outdated perceptions of yourself. So, like, in our originating families, we kind of have an identity in them. Like, say there's a family and there's 3 siblings. So many times that middle child is like the peacekeeper. And so we can clear things to help take the pressure off of them feeling like they have to keep the peace.
Hmm.
Um, and truthfully, it wasn't their parents or their siblings' intention to put them in that role. It's actually a soul agreement before we come into form into this life. And so it's pretty far reaching what we can impact by using this method. So,
Sharon Howard, I have had several sessions with Paula. So nice. Thank you for joining us. And she is amazing, isn't she? Yes, she has. She has helped me clear myself and my ancestral line in an easy and comfortable way. I highly recommend SRT, and in particular, Paula, who adds her wisdom to help you clear even more. As a result, my life just keeps getting better and better. Oh, that is fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Woo!
that
Look at
is
that. Paula's
awesome.
got some good fans putting it out there and sharing it with the world. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So some of these internal patterns often show up externally in someone's life. How do you deal with that, or how do you fix it? I don't know if fix it's the right word.
Mhm. Well, yeah, fix it probably is not exactly the right word. Because really, like, if someone comes to me and they don't like this and that in their life and they want it fixed and they want to change it right then and there, no matter what happens to anybody, I
Ooh,
would
yeah.
say, I'm not your girl.
And it takes a lot of work, right? Like everything. Everything worthwhile you have to work for.
It's true. So, like working with clients, as this Sharon just shared, some things are within the person themselves. Other things have been handed down through generations in your family. So sometimes you may not understand, why am I always late to appointments? Well, 4 generations ago, something happened, and sometimes in a session, spirit will let me know what that was. and I will say these things. So I'm guided in each session. They're very unique to each person and to what has been going on for generations, let alone maybe the 60 years or the 50 years or 20 years that a person's been alive. So
Wow.
some things you'll recognize right away, and other things you just have to let go and just say, okay, I surrender. And then the proof is in the next day, the next week, the next month. Like, how has the life improved? If you were obsessing about some trauma that happened to you, does it have that same amount of energy or not? And usually it doesn't. So,
Well, that's good. Can you share a story of a client transformation that really stuck with you?
sure. I'll
Oh, I
do
got
it.
lots of
I'll
them.
do
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I do have a lot of them. I mean, you do it this long, you definitely see some interesting things. Recently, I had a young man that was, not quite 20, and he was he was a star tennis player for a long time, like pretty good. And he was being scouted, for potential long term. And then something happened to one of his parents that was a bit, full of energy, kind of traumatic. And he just shut down. He had a hard time getting out of bed for school. He bit his fingernails so much it was like not nice. It was painful even. And I can't remember if it was the first or the second session he had. And that left, he can get up and he can work, and he is working out, and he's even played tennis a few times, and so he's back to a life that he had previously, and he had been in that state for 7 years.
Oh, ooh,
Yeah,
ooh. There goes the tennis career, 7 years.
yeah, so but
Ouch.
he's got his sights on other things now, and he's, pretty enthused about them too.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I bet he's grateful to you, Paula, my goodness, as so
Yeah,
many people are, because 'cause you've worked with executives and homemakers and artists and even pets. Do the
yes,
same core principles apply across the board?
yes, and it's so I have one of my favorite stories about pets.
Oh,
Well, I probably have 3 in the pet category. One couple from Texas found out about me from a friend, and they're like, "I don't know if she does things with pets, but you can call her." So they call me, and I'm like, "Well, I will try. I will try. We'll just see." And so we did the beginning connecting prayer, the connection of the intention and everything. And instead of clearing for these 2 missing dogs to come home, we cleared one of the owners. So the woman, um, and she had some energies that were making the dogs run. And not that it was anything, like, she's not a bad person. She doesn't hurt them. She loves them, treats them so well. And she and her husband treated them like their children. So it's like, why are they both missing? Well, she had something that was like that was basically like repelling the dogs. And so at
hmm.
the end, I said her name. She goes, "What should I do?" And I said, "When you and your husband walk out the front door, you should go turn to the left and go 10 miles." And she said, "10 miles? There's no way. That puts us out into the flatlands where there's, tumbleweeds and stuff like that." And I'm like, "I don't know. I mean, that's just what I'm hearing from my connection with a higher power, which I call spirit a lot." And I'll be darned, they listened. They went, and there they found their 2 dogs. Yeah, it was remarkable. They called me. In fact, they ended up calling me. That husband was actually crying, and when you have a grown man crying over the gratitude of finding a dog, it's like
Fabulous.
very heart expanding.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh,
And then I also had an elephant sanctuary contact me, and they had an elephant that needed to cross over. It was in a lot of pain. And so, you know, in moments like that, I can help usually too. So,
what do you do?
well, I just clear the elephant, the being, the soul of the elephant to be ready to let go of anything it wanted to do here on the earth plane, and to be receptive that it's time for it to, go to what we would call heavenly realms and go back to its source or originating energy. And so I just clear any obstacles. And of course, it's that being's will and God's will or divine will that lets whatever happens. But in this case, it obviously was helpful to help that elephant. And then after that, the elephant had a friend that was a dog that lived on the property, and the dog was in mourning. So then I cleared the dog, and then that helped the dog process and get back to its active life and befriend some of the other elephants. So
Oh, what an enlightened person to know to reach out to you for their elephant and their
yeah,
dog. I couldn't
yes,
have thunk of that.
yeah, and both of those were word of mouth. Like a friend of a friend told them about me, and that's how I either got an email or a phone call, or through my website, people can contact me.
Oh, yes, let's put up your website. Just in case you want to be checking her out, she has a beautiful website right here, paulaschroeder.com. Check her out. Share this out. Put in some questions in the comment. What would you like to know? Like, what role does self-criticism or that inner dialogue that goes play in shaping our experiences? That whole "you're not good enough" thing. What do you think you're doing? The kind of those kind of undercurrents.
Yeah. Well, obviously, those end up having like a negative frequency, you would say, or vibration.
Mhm.
I mean, and you can notice when a person is kind of in those moods, their shoulders may be slumped, they may be looking down a lot. They wouldn't be able to have eye contact, that type of thing. I will say, though, that, and I don't know an exact statistic, but a large amount of people get down to the bottom feeling to I am not enough.
Mm.
And so, for one person, it could be something that happened in their career or profession.
Hi, Kevin. Thank you. Thanks for being here. We love you. Share this out. Have you been listening to Paula? She's amazing. She just saved an elephant, so it passed over peacefully. I mean, wow. I'm like, anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt. I got
No, that's okay. Yeah. So it's unusual. Let's see. Gonna think of what the last thing I said was.
feeling not good enough,
Right.
feeling not worthy, that all that kind of stuff.
So,
When God through or your spirit, your source, whatever you believe in, made you perfectly.
right. It's so true. And everybody has that voice of criticizing themselves. Some people can get out of that loop based on maybe positive things that happened in their life, or that's not really what their soul came to perfect this time.
Mhm.
But it is important to stop and just feel. Like, if I'm feeling I'm not good enough, then really feel it. Like, we don't want to run from it. Like, go put music on, go eat a sandwich or something like that. Watch Netflix or something like that. It's like, stay with that emotion and witness it. just like you would witness a beautiful beach scene, you witness the feelings that you're having.
Hmm.
You don't even actually have to name them, but you just get to the point in that witness state. And the way you get there, 3 deep breaths with your awareness. So easy. And that actually starts a chemical change in your brain that will help you let go of self-esteem issues, criticism issues, all the lies that you're telling yourself on the inside. And pretty soon they can't grip you the way that they'd had a hold on you previously. And with the spiritual response therapy, it's like we can dust out the corners and make sure that seed is not going to reroot and regrow in your consciousness.
Hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, just think about that. You can cure yourself with 3 deep breaths. We all breathe every day, just taking a moment and acknowledging 3 breaths. Who can't do that in their day?
So
Wow.
true.
Wow. That's beautiful. Everyone, 1, 2, 3. So our whole audience should be all calm, ready to ask you other questions that might pertain to them. You mentioned gratitude. We're all grateful for that little tidbit. In fact, everyone remember that one. Pass it on to your friends. Share it out because I feel a little calmer. Do you? Ah, you have another nice fan here. Thank you, Paula, for the work you do. Love you. And Amira?
Yeah, Amira.
Ah, lovely. Thank you, Amira, for joining us. We appreciate that. Kevin said, I have that voice and I deal with it every day. Filmmaking has helped me. Oh, that's lovely, Kevin. Yes. And now you can try 3 deep breaths.
Awesome. Yeah. So typically when I have, people that work with me, like Amira is ongoing, like over the years, besides what we do with the spiritual response therapy, I will teach people shortcuts of what they can do. And one thing is you can sit with a piece of selenite. It's a crystal, and this one's a big chunk, and it will help calm you. So, there's so many tools that Mother Nature provides that work in conjunction with our connection to a power greater than ourselves. And so this would be one that I would, if you have a chaotic office or your workplace is just hectic, having a piece of selenite around is useful. You also can have jewelry made with it. And so this is mother of pearl. I have hematite on this side. So there's lots of little tools that you can add into this to balance energies out, because you might be in the middle of something and you're like, well, I can't really call Paula Schroeder and have a SRT session in this moment. What can I do? Well, you can take 3 breaths. If you have a desk with space, you could have selenite on it and you could hold it perhaps. So those are things that I try to help empower people with, so they're not really like just dependent upon doing a session with me. And then I help educate them in other ways about consciousness, about the brain that we all have as a human being works in a certain way. And that critical voice is one of the ways that that does that.
Kevin says, yes, my wife has all the crystals. They really work. I'm going to have to pick up my crystal situation. I have a few that were a gift from Mia Moon. And from my previous office, I believe she did give me some cellulite. And I remember I think she said that you put them in the sunshine periodically to repower them, recharge them, so to speak.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just cleanse out any, anything they may have helped process, and it will, uplift the energy again. So, like, if you come to my house, you'll see my bracelets on the windowsill
Wow.
or the selenite or whatever. So, I like the sun and the moon to cleanse them. So,
Ooh,
yeah.
I bet you can talk a lot about that little piece, but you
Yeah.
mentioned gratitude as part of your work. So how do you help clients move from self-criticism to self-acceptance?
Mhm. Well, each journey is individual. And so there's not just one formula. The one thing that does happen is looking at the external world. So, does this person have hurt in their relationships? Do they have physical conditions? Do they have financial issues? And then we can ask, where does this, inner feelings they're having, where is it out pictured in their life? And so I would just use a pendulum, which gives me the it's called an ideomotor response. And if it's a yes, it goes to the right. If it's a no, it goes to the left. And if they don't need it, it holds still. So I
Hmm.
could check, is this pattern of thought in their health area? Is it in their hurt relationship area? Is it in their financial area? And then if say it was health, so then we start following the charts and asking to let that go. So I was thinking, if you're game, we could do a little clearing so people could experience what it feels like.
Ooh, of course. Just say yes, right? Okay, I'm game. Wait, we got a message here from Lisa. I'm so grateful for Paula. She's been so kind, caring, and patient in helping me let go of things I didn't even know I was hanging on to. Well, it looks like I might figure that out right now myself, Lisa. Thank you. That's a nice comment. You're very well loved, Miss Paula. I love that.
Yeah,
Okay, so what do we do and what's the
feel
plan?
fortunate. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just, whatever each person's belief system, whether they're live on this call or listening to it later, you connect inward. So some people may feel like they have a higher power energy that they relate to, others may not. So, whatever it is, you connect with that. And I'll just say a short, simple little intention or prayer, depending upon each person's belief system. And then I'll start following the charts and I'll give you the overview.
Woo! Okie dokie.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
okay. So, just taking a deep, conscious breath in and out. Have the intention of connecting internally to your own awareness, to a higher power if you relate to one. And this can be anything from divine, spirit, God, nature, the universe, anything that is very connecting for you. And just continue to breathe deeply. So I ask to invoke this divine presence, and I ask for the well being of all people to be enhanced, whether it's in health, wealth, finances, relationships. I ask that each person who listens to this will be blessed, that their ability to relate to others will be improved, and that a deeper sense of well being and calm will be inside of them. Thank you for all these gifts and more. And so it is.
And so it is.
And so now I use the pendulum and the charts. I'm going to ask to connect to high self information coming from the higher power, and making sure I'm prepped to work, Cynthia's prepped to work, and her team is prepped to work, and also Eric. And we're going to ask to clear the soul family. So we have usually 9 people around us that are closest to us. They can be biological family members, but they also can be like friends or people that have a special place in your heart. And that's what a soul family is. So this is asking to not only clear each person listening, but also to those that are close to them as well. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool. I never know what each clearing is going to bring up. So it's kind of like a little mystery surprise to me, too. So we're going to ask to clear any things that block consciousness to where there's obstacles in connecting to that power greater than oneself. We're going to ask to please clear all experiences, the experience of the imprint of hatred. So, and you might want to breathe. Some people might feel sensations in their body. They might have emotions come up. Other people might have temperature sensations occur, and somebody may not even feel anything. So it's very individual. So letting go of that hate and that self-destructive tendency, we're asking to let it go. Deep despair and sadness, unhappiness, please clear. We're going to ask to clear the unworthiness, where a person gets to the point of feeling, I am not enough. And I think we might all want to take a deep breath in and out whenever you're ready. This one's kind of got a little bit to let go. So we continue to breathe deeply, relaxing the body. We're going to ask to let go of malice. And sometimes in a circumstance, if you're feeling unworthy, we tend to blame externally. And so we have ill feelings or malice towards something or someone. And Spirit's saying it makes you have thoughts of revenge. And then that leads to toxic shame. So then you can see how one negative thought can chain to another, and pretty soon it's like a negative spiral. And so this is helping let that go. And so now we're going to ask, what would we download to help us all benefit from letting that go and having more space in our consciousness and our being? And we would download the positive expression of trust, download the positive expression and experience of confidence. We're going to ask to download friendliness to everyone listening and download the positive expression of tolerance. I'm going to ask to download honesty and the love of self. Please download. So what other unresolved energies can be cleared? Okay, negative motivations with responsibility, power and manipulation, please clear. Greed energies, please clear. And what would be downloaded in the positive? We're going to download the positive expression again of confidence, of responsibility, of truthfulness, and please download the positive experience of gratitude and grace. Just take a deep breath in. Let it go. Another deep breath in. And let it go. And you can affirm, I am enough.
I am enough.
I'm going to ask that each person's guardian angels helps work with them, or the indwelling aspect of their divine or their higher power, whatever their belief system is, to help them know in this coming week that they are enough. And please clear any and all criticism directed at self for pursuing financial gain. We're going to ask to clear it from the lineage, from the negative thought forms that naturally occur sometimes, and an energy drain that dissipates energy. And please clear high ideals and expectations and allow a balance to become in homeostasis. It's called the balance of yin and yang, of responsibility, but responsibility free of anxiety. So releasing yourself from the burden of trying to work to have more, and know and trust, downloaded from that higher power, that you are cared for, you are worthy, and you are more than enough. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
that gives you a little taste, and we'll do a wrap up, mop up. Thank you. So yeah. So I've seen so many things. Like, as I mentioned, I use other tools.
Heaven says, if more people would just follow this, what a world it would be. Thank you, Paula. So, Paula, if someone watches this in the replay and they do that, will they get the benefit?
Yes, they will, because
Ooh,
working
ooh.
with, a power greater than us, it's called zero time. There's no space or time. And if you talk to teachers of consciousness, they do say, we have made up time. Like, who told us we had to work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.? It was a man-made idea. And so I guess at certain points of consciousness, you can go into that feeling. And I have also had that feeling at times where there is no time. So
I
this
love that.
impact.
Ah,
So I was about to say there's other tools I use. And this is an author, Louise Haye. She has crossed over. She was a new thought leader. And this book is fascinating because, like, so many young people I help say they come to me with anxiety. And so I look this up, and it shows anxiety, and the issue is not trusting the flow and the process of life. And what affirmation or remedy? I love and approve of myself, and I trust the process of life. I am safe. So I use SRT to find out where the person doesn't feel safe. Like, did something happen to them? Like, were they in a car wreck when they were young and they have that jarring feeling, but they don't know why? Did they get a door closed real quickly and that shocked them? So it was too abrupt for their energy field. So it created a wound of some sort. I mean, there's a
wow.
myriad of reasons. So one time I had this lady that was in her late 80s, and we were clearing her, and what came up was her parents had a surprise birthday party for her when she was 14 years old, and she was super shy. So the issue she was having in her late 80s was back from that age 14 birthday party.
Wow, and she held on to that for all those years?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't
So
sound like fun. Sounds like every birthday would be traumatic after that.
well, she definitely didn't want any surprise birthday parties.
Oh, poor thing. I'm glad she made it. Is she still living? I'm glad she made it past that then.
Yeah, she is. She is
Good.
still. So,
Excellent. Excellent. Wow. How interesting.
yeah. And there's other specific clearings that I do. Of course, we have relationships with mother and father. Some people have, we have the whole spectrum. For some people, it was an easy relationship. For others, it was difficult. The thing is like for any issues with mother, you might have trouble doing self care for yourself or nurturing things for yourself if you had unresolved hurts with your mother or your mom. There's also things like it's harder to express your creative talents in the world if you had issues with your mom. And also, money may come in, but it dissipates quickly. And that's usually an issue with someone's mom. So we clear around those things. And a clearing for father would be being able to um, be in the profession that you love or want to be in, to excel in your career, to have money flow in, to be able to keep it accumulated, um, and be responsible with it at the same time. And so, like the earning potential that this person once once they're healed with their father, they can usually raise that ceiling and go to a higher level. So,
Hmm, very interesting. And you also, let's see, Lita, Paula's the real deal. She is so loving, connected, and authentic. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Lita.
oh,
And Darren, Paula is authentic, kind, and talented. She's been very helpful for many years. I see this. What a little treasure.
that's-
Wow. Well,
yeah.
as a certified oneness trainer, how do you weave oneness and principles into your practice?
Well, as you mentioned earlier, I've been on that path for 18 years. Um, and I first found it through one of my clients, um, that I did SRT with. One day she said, Paula, oh my gosh, everything you talk about reminds me of this book I read about oneness. And she goes, you got to get it. And so I put it on a list because my clients usually want me to read whatever they're reading. And it was number 48 on my list. And I thought, will I ever
Well,
get,
do it,
yeah,
huh?
I'm not the fastest reader in the world. Am I going to get to 48? Well, so later that day, someone else mentioned that book. And by that evening, someone said, I'm going to a meditation held by oneness. You want to meet me there? I'm like, what? So, of course, I went. And it just opened my eyes in a new way of looking at how my state of being, my state of consciousness, my thoughts affect my life. And so gosh, within within a week, a client who insisted I had to go to the next thing offered by this author flew me from Florida to Asheville. I went to the weekend event, and in that event, I had a moment where I was one with everything. Like I
Mm.
was one with the table, the chair, the floor, the teacher who was teaching the author. I was one with everybody in the room. I literally felt like I was the wall breathing. It was the darndest experience. So he said, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to call India and talk to the head of the Oneness movement at that time." He talked to him, and the next thing I knew, I was on a plane to go to India. And I went through several processes to look inside myself. And now the next generation are the teachers, and they do come to the US and many other countries. And I've gotten certified in several of their teachings, which are universal. Doesn't matter the culture, the faith, or the non faith that you come from. These are teachings that are based in truth for human beings, you know? And so I help facilitate, big events as like a coordinator, volunteer type person. That's where I met you. And I also do 2-day classes that I can host called Stress Detox. And that helps you let go of stressful states in your energy field.
Well, everyone can use a little less stress these days, huh? Yes, I met Paula in LA. There was a circle, a group, and we would meet, I think in the morning, right? It was 4 or 5 days. We would meet in the morning and our circle talk. I'm still friends with a couple of our circle people, as a matter of fact, and Paula. And it's just amazing. Yeah, tell us about the stress detox course. How does it complement SRT?
Well, the very nice thing is that, like all those thought forms or behavior patterns, like that self criticism that we were talking about earlier,
Mhm.
or even it could be something else like doubt or a feeling like doom, like the other shoe's going to drop kind of thing. Those are like negative tapes that run and cause us internal stress. And so the 2-day process will have video clips of the teachers that I found from India, that, like I mentioned, travel the globe. And those are those universal teachings that apply to everyone. We would listen to those video clips, and then I would help take you through what's called introspection or contemplation. And that's where you breathe deeply and you look at what's happening inside of you. And there's, verbal prompts that will take you on a journey and help you uncover the roots of why anytime someone in your family leaves the kitchen cabinets open, why does that trigger you? That creates stress for some people. Or why do some people have a hard time in traffic, whereas another person could relax? And so we look at the two states of consciousness, a beautiful state of consciousness or a stressful state. And we work to help you have tools to be able to move to that calm, connected, beautiful place.
I'm with Kevin on that. The whole world needs to be calm and cool and collected. Wouldn't that be lovely? So if someone's stuck in life but doesn't know why, what's the first step you would have them take? Call Paula.
Mhm. Yeah, 1-800 call Paula. No, just joking. I say we got to have fun in this journey because otherwise we might cry, and that's not fun. So,
No, 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 no. I love fun.
yeah, exactly. So, I mean, the first step is your breath, like we worked on. I cannot tell you the value of those 3 breaths. They are actually balancing your right and left hemisphere of your brain. So even though you may have stress stimuli coming in, if your brain is balanced, it will not impact you in the same way. So
Mm.
your next decision may be up leveled a little bit instead of coming from that stress response or reaction. And usually, when you're in a better state, there's better results around you. Other people usually don't get upset because you didn't fly off the handle and say mean things, because you took some breaths. Your brain got balanced and realized whatever hurtful thing just transpired, that wasn't about you. And it's not personal. It happens to every human being on this planet. And so you can let things go more easily. So that would be the first thing to do.
Beautiful. Looking ahead, Paula, what excites you most about where your work is headed?
Well, I do love, the connection I feel when I get to clear people. I feel like it's a sacred honor. Excuse me, it's like an honor to get to see some of these parts of what's going on for people, because as say we're in the grocery store, we don't know what has happened to that person and why they might be short with us or cut in line or, I don't know, bump into us. It's not that they set out to aggravate anybody. It's just what they're dealing with. And so I feel like it's such a privilege to get to work with people on those things. And then there's the uplifting side that I mentioned, the animals. And then I've helped a couple couples get pregnant by clearing the obstacles of why they couldn't. And that has been a true joy. So just being able to continue to work with people is such a gift.
Oh, beautiful. Well stated. And finally, what message do you want people listening to tonight to walk away with? 3 breaths, ladies and gentlemen. Let's teach the whole world how to breathe.
That's right.
But what else, Paula? What else?
Well, do your best to treat yourself like you would treat your best friend. Many of us, because we were taught not to brag on ourselves, not to act greater than anyone else, we just shrink sometimes. And you wouldn't let your best friend shrink. You would tell them that they are powerful, they impact people, they are so loved. So tell yourself that too.
Kind inner speak.
Yes, exactly.
Because it is true. I heard that one a lot. You're too big. Don't get too big for your britches.
Yeah. That's true.
What do you see as the connection between spiritual growth and professional success in moving forward in life?
Well, if most people would pay attention to their inner landscape, which we're calling spiritual growth here, then their decisions for their business comes from that anchored state of awareness. So they can make more sound decisions that have a ripple effect to other people in their sphere of influence. And just like I talked about, having a breath and up-leveling the experience, if you do that in your business, the business will start to grow, flourish, people will transform. And it's really a beautiful thing to witness. And then also, obviously, people are excited when their business grows.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So
everyone does better and everyone's happier. And Drax says, great show, ladies. Oh, thanks. Hey, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Woo-hoo. In today's constant stress world, how can someone know their struggles are subconscious blocks versus situational challenges?
everything's a subconscious block.
Everything.
Period.
Regress.
Yeah. And it's okay, because all of humanity has it, and we're in this together. We've had some world events and we realize we're dependent and interdependent upon one another. And so the better and happier you are, the better and happier I am. So it's like, let's just work together to spread that.
Beautiful. Well, Paula, you've been an absolutely beautiful guest. And everyone share this out because they can get some of Paula's little breathing dust on them and be kinder and listen to their little voice and know that they are enough because you are enough. Sharon says, I've learned so many ideas that are both practical and wise. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, Sharon. We appreciate you being with us, and everyone who has joined us from across the world. Please share this out and reach out to Paula if you need, a little one-on-one. Love you. See you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the Cynthia Manion Show. Share this out and please subscribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cynthia.